Deadpool's officially part of the MCU. I wonder what color pants he's wearing today. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainely Movies. Today I'm going to be ranking the 3 movies in the Deadpool franchise as part of my franchise Rankography series. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. So what is a Rankography exactly? Well, it's my ranking of a filmography, whether that be a director's output, an actor's appearances, or even an entire franchise. My rankographies are based on personal preference, and I rank movies according to how much I enjoyed them rather than any specific technical merit or attribute. Remember, this is just my ranking, not the ranking, so be sure to post your own personal ranking of the Deadpool franchise in the comments below. Comic book movies are everywhere these days, but here we have the case of a comic book character initially deemed too risky to make the jump to film. With some perseverance and a little bit of fan clamoring, Deadpool made it to the screen and has been making an impact on the genre ever since. This is a franchise with a very distinctive style. It's irreverent, meta and extremely referential, juvenile and crude, violently entertaining. It doesn't take very long to understand what Deadpool is all about, or to decide if it's a film series for you. This is a franchise that's been sort of its own thing, sort of part of Fox's X-Men franchise, and now officially part of the MCU. Suffice it to say, Deadpool certainly gets around, bringing his brand of R-rated hijinks along with him. This is a ridiculous franchise, with plenty of issues, but one that's been consistently entertaining for me. In fact, I've given all 3 movies the same rating, which definitely makes this ranking a challenge for me. I've already reviewed all 3 of these movies on this channel, so if you want to check those out for some more in-depth thoughts on each of them, I'll put the links in the description below, and I'll also link them up in the cards as we go along. I also want to note that I've intentionally left the PG-13 cut of Deadpool 2, called Once Upon a Deadpool, out of this ranking, because apart from the framing device, it's just not different enough from Deadpool 2 to warrant its own placement. Alright, let's get this rankography started. Coming in at number 3, Deadpool. It's not often that the first film of a franchise ends up at the bottom for me. Like I said before, I enjoy all of these films, and they're all super close for me, but one of them had to be at the bottom of the pile. Honestly, it's remarkable that this film even got made. It brought the character of Deadpool to the big screen after a lot of time, work, and convincing. Fox didn't have much confidence in the viability of a Deadpool movie, though, and the comparatively low budget for a comic book movie is noticeable, impacting the quality of the CGI and resulting in the very minimalistic X-Men roster. Still, it made the best of what it had to work with, and was definitely successful at putting the character of Deadpool on the cinematic map, introducing him to a whole new group of would-be fans. This first Deadpool movie is part origin story and part revenge tale, told in a non-linear fashion. Now, I'm a sucker for origin stories, so you'd think this would get a bit of a boost for me, but the story is actually where this one fails to impress me. The simplicity is commendable in a way, but simplicity doesn't have to be dull, and that's kind of how this film tracks at times. Ajax, or Francis, is a pretty lackluster and unmemorable villain, but luckily the creative and violent action scenes keep things entertaining. Plus, adding Deadpool's humor into the mix doesn't hurt either. It's definitely the least consistently funny of the bunch for me, but there's no doubt that this is still a very entertaining movie. Coming in at number 2, Deadpool 2. I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm gonna get a lot of people disagreeing with me on the placement of this movie, but I enjoy this one. And honestly, if given the choice, I'd probably opt to watch this movie over the first film in almost any situation. Sequels are a tricky thing, and it's often hard to find the right balance of new and old to satisfy fans. I'll admit that the first time I went to see this movie, I was a bit hesitant, because Deadpool seemed like the type of thing that might only work once. I do think that there's definitely a novelty aspect to the success of this character and franchise, but luckily the Deadpool shtick worked the second time around for me as well. It has some issues, of course, as all of these films do. It's a bit narratively expanded compared to the first movie, which I appreciated, but it also introduced the character of Russell, who's somehow 1,000 times more obnoxious than Deadpool himself, and makes every scene he's in a chore to get through. Luckily, this sequel also gives us a handful of good new characters too, most notably Domino, with her extremely cinematic superpower, and the time-traveling Cable. Both of these characters provided a bit of a counterbalance to Deadpool's humor, which really helped things and improved the comedy quite a bit. The funnier interactions and various team dynamics on display made for a more engaging story this second time around. The success of the first Deadpool meant that this film had a bigger budget, so the CGI is greatly improved here, and David Leitch's stunt-trained directorial eye makes for some really fun and entertaining action sequences that are somehow even more violent than before. So that means my number one Deadpool film is Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm not entirely sure why, but I didn't expect this movie to top my Deadpool ranking. I've only seen it twice so far, and with how close all of these Deadpool movies are for me, this could certainly move around in the ranking a bit with additional watches, but this was definitely the most consistently entertaining of the trilogy for me, even on repeat viewing. As with all of these films, it's not without issue. The story is quite average, with some pacing and expository problems, plus it's got another underutilized villain. It's a very cameo and unannounced supporting character dependent movie, which works exceptionally well in a theatrical event film setting, but I suspect that aspect may fade with home repeat viewings. That said, those appearances and the redemptive qualities of the story were extremely satisfying, even as someone who didn't pick up on every single minute reference. Although the impact of the cameos may lessen with time, the core relationship and especially chemistry between Deadpool and Wolverine will hold strong through the years. These are two characters with such different personalities, so forcing them together, especially in an MCU-first R-rated setting, is a recipe for entertainment. They've got some great chemistry together, which results in a lot of humor, plus a series of really fun and violent fight sequences. Buddy comedy may seem like an odd choice, especially with Wolverine in the mix, but it actually really works here. This third Deadpool movie is a satisfying send-off to Fox's X-Men series, and a fitting start to Deadpool's tenure in the MCU, entertainingly bridging the gap between these two franchises in a very referential Deadpool kind of way. Alright, so that's my rankography of the Deadpool franchise. 3 movies, 2 franchises, and not a single chimichanga in sight. What does your ranking look like? I'd love to see some reasoning for your order, so be sure to post it in the comments below. Remember, I've already reviewed all 3 of these movies, so you can check those videos out if you want some more in-depth discussion of each, as well as my ratings, pros and cons, and even tailored film recommendations. And if you're interested in buying any of these movies, I do have affiliate links for all of them in the description below. I get a small commission from anything you buy using one of my links, so I'd really appreciate it if you use them if you're in the market for any of these movies. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this rankography, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe if you're at it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainely Movies. The way life should be.